Hey everyone, today's video is on Romantic period from 1790 to 1837, also known as the Age of Revolution or the Age of Romanticism. So, Romantic period. This time period is the most fruitful time period in English literature. The Romantic period started when William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge first published their lyrical ballads in 1798. So, kings who ruled in this era: George III, 1760 to 1820, George IV ruled from 1820 to 1830, and William IV from 1830 to 1837. So George III, who ruled from 1760 to 1820, during his reign time, Peace of Paris ends the 7 Years of War. Encyclopedia Britannica was first published. James Watt develops the steam engine, and income tax introduced. During his reign time, French and American Revolution was happened. George III was suffering from mental illness for a long time and he died on January 29, 1820, at the age of 81. He was succeeded by his son George IV. George IV, his full name George Augustus Frederick, who ruled from 1820 to 1830. During his reign time, the Royal Academy of Music was established in London. The National Gallery was established. The Metropolitan Police Force was set up in London. The Catholic Relief Act was passed and Catholics were allowed to become the Member of Parliament. King George IV was succeeded by his brother, King William IV. So he ruled from 1830 to 1837. His nickname was the Sailor King. During his reign time, the new London Bridge was opened over the River Thames. The first Reform Act was passed, and the Municipal Reform Act was passed. Birth, marriages, and death must be registered by law. Now let's come to the point of view of literature. William Wordsworth, the main author of Romanticism, is regarded as one of the England's greatest poets. His poems changed poetry and literature. He is the most famous nature poet. William Wordsworth expressed human life through his literary expressions, which brings everyone back to nature. He wrote in very simple language. The Prelude, his most famous work. It's an autobiographical epic poem in blank verse, published in 1850. His other works are The Word is Too Much with Us, poems in 2 volumes, French Revolution, Guide to the Lakes, The Excursion, Tintern Abbey, The Sparrow's Nest, My Heart Lifts Up, Michael, and many more. William Wordsworth an estimated 387 poems during his lifetime. Samuel Taylor Coleridge was an English poet, literary critic, philosopher, and theologian, who, with his friend, was a founder of Romantic movement. He also collaborated with Charles Lamb, Robert Southey, and with many. He is best known for his longer poems, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and Christabel and Kubla Khan. In his work, we could see his love for beauty, his strong imagination, and his love for nature. His other famous poems are The Nightingale, Frost at Midnight, Dejection and Ode, Limbo, The Eloin Harp, poems on various subjects, Fears in Solitude. William Blake was an English poet, painter. His use of images, symbols, metaphors, and his revolutionary spirit and his spontaneous expression of thoughts and emotions make him a romantic poet. He published his most popular collection, Songs of Innocence, in 1789. His important poems are The Tiger, London, The Lamb, The Rose, The Chimney Sweeper, A Poison Tree. And other famous works are The Angels, The Ancient of Days, Adam Naming the Beast, Blake's Cottage, The Ghost of a Flea, and many more. John Keats, another famous poet of this period. He died at a very young age, at the age of 25, but he wrote many famous poems, like Ode to a Nightingale, Ode on a Grecian Urn, To Autumn, Ode on Melancholy, Hyperion. He was an English romantic poet, a lyric poet. His reputation grew after his early death, and he was greatly admired in Victorian age. Keats focused on understanding and exploring beauty. Lord Vernon was an English poet, satirist, and one of the leading figures of the Romantic movement. His famous works are Don Juan, She Works in Beauty, Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, Darkness, Mazeppa, The Curtain, and many more. Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley was an English novelist, wrote the Gothic novel Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus, which is considered an early example of science fiction. She also edited and promoted the works of her husband, who was a romantic poet and philosopher. Her other famous works are Valperga, The Last Man, The Fortunes of Perkin Warbeck, The Fortunes of Perkin Warbeck, Ladder, Faulkner, and the travel book History of Six Weeks Tour. Jane Austen was an English novelist. Her most famous popular novel, Pride and Prejudice. Her writing style is a mix of New Classicism and Romanticism. Her other famous works are Persuasion, Emma, Sense and Sensibility, Mansfield Park, Love and Friendship. P.B. Shelley. He is best known for his Ode to the West Wind. His other famous works are The Mask of an Anarchy, Adonis to a Skylark, Class Philosophy, The Cloud, The Triumph of Life, and many more. Other famous writer of this period was William Hazlitt, Robert Southey, James Hogg, Sir Walter Scott. So that's all about today. I hope this video will help you a little bit, and if you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.